Hey there, everyone. How's it going? It's another beautiful day here today, and we are here to do the Course in Miracles lessons. The lesson for today is lesson 169, and let's get right into it. By grace I live, by grace I am released. By grace I live, by grace I am released. Grace is an aspect of the love of God which is most like the state prevailing in the unity of truth. It is the world's most lofty aspiration, for it leads beyond the world entirely. It is in past learning, yet, that the goal of learning, for grace cannot come until the mind prepares itself for true acceptance. Grace becomes inevitable instantly in those who have prepared a table where it can be gently laid and willingly received, an altar clean and holy for the gift. Grace is acceptance of the love of God within a world of seeming hate and fear. By grace alone, the hate and fear are gone, for grace presents a state so opposite to everything the world contains that those whose minds are lighted up by the gift of grace cannot believe the world of fear is real. Grace is not learned. The final step must go beyond all learning. Grace is not the goal this course aspires to attain. Yet, we prepare for grace in that an open mind can hear the call to waken. It is not shut tight against God's voice. It has become aware that there are things it does not know, and thus is ready to accept a state completely different from experience with which it is familiarly at home. We have perhaps appeared to contradict our statement that the revelation of the Father and the Son as one has been already set. But we have also said the mind determines when the time will be, and has determined it. And yet, we urge you to bear witness to the Word of God to hasten the experience of truth, and speed its advent into every mind that recognizes truth's effects on you. Oneness is simply the idea God is, and in his being, he encompasses all things. No mind holds anything but him. We say God is, and then we cease to speak. For in that knowledge, words are meaningless. There are no lips to speak them, and no part of the mind sufficiently distinct to feel that it is now aware of something not itself. It has united with its source, and like its source itself, it merely is. We cannot speak nor write nor even think of this at all. It comes to every mind when total recognition that its will is God's has been completely given and received completely. It returns the mind into the endless present, where the past and future cannot be conceived. It lies beyond salvation, past all thought of time, forgiveness, and the holy face of Christ. The Son of God has merely disappeared into his Father, as his Father has in him. The world has never been at all. Eternity remains a constant state. This is beyond experience we try to hasten. Yet forgiveness, taught and learned, brings with it the experiences which bear witness that the time the mind itself determined to abandon all but this is now at hand. We do not hasten it, in that what you will offer was concealed from him, who teaches what forgiveness means. All learning was already in his mind, accomplished and complete. He recognized all that time holds, and gave it to all minds that each one might determine, from a point where time has ended, when it is released to revelation and eternity. We have repeated several times before that you but make a journey that is done. For oneness must be here. Whatever time the mind has set for revelation is entirely irrelevant to what must be a constant state, forever as it always was, forever to remain as it is now. We merely take the part assigned long since, and fully recognized as perfectly fulfilled by him who wrote salvation's script in his Creator's name and in the name of his Creator's Son. There is no need to further clarify what no one in the world can understand. When revelation of oneness comes, when revelation of your oneness comes, it will be known and fully understood. Now we have work to do, for those in time can speak of things beyond and listen to words which explain what is to come in past already. Yet what meaning can the words convey to those who count the hours still, and rise and work and go to sleep by them? Suffice it, then, that you have work to do to play your part. The ending must remain obscure to you until your part is done. It does not matter, for your part is still what all the rest depends on. As you take the role assigned to you, salvation comes a little nearer each uncertain heart that does not beat as yet in tune with God. Forgiveness is the central theme that runs through salvation, holding all its parts in meaningful relationships. The course it runs directed and its outcome sure. And now we ask for grace, the final gift salvation can bestow. Experience that grace provides will end in time, for grace foreshadows heaven, yet does not replace the thought of time, but for a little while. The interval suffices. It is here that miracles are laid, to be returned by you from holy instance you receive. Through grace, in your experience, to all who see the light that lingers in your face, what is the face of Christ, but his who went a moment into timelessness and brought a clear reflection of the unity he felt an instant back to bless the world? How could you finally attain to it forever, while a part of you remains outside, unknowing, unawakened, and in need of you as witness to the truth? Be grateful to return as you were glad to go an instant and accept the gifts that grace provided you. You carry them back to yourself, and revelation stands not far behind. Its coming is ensured. We ask for grace and for experience that comes from grace. We welcome the release it offers everyone. We do not ask for the unaskable. We do not look beyond what grace can give. For this we can give in the grace that has been given us. Our learning goal today does not exceed this prayer. Yet in the world, what could be more than what we ask this day of him, who gives the grace we ask, as it was given him? By grace I live. By grace I am released. By grace I give. By grace I will release. Let me repeat that. By grace I live. By grace I am released. By grace I give. By grace I will release. Okay. So that is a beautiful lesson. Lesson 169. And what are we talking about here is we're talking about grace. Grace is that glimpse of the real. Those glimpses that you get where you feel at complete peace, in complete joy, in complete love, and in complete happiness. There are but instants sometimes that come to you and just make everything disappear for an instant. It could be longer for some, but it's that instant where you feel just glorious, just peaceful, just wondrous. I mean, it's a magnificent experience. I don't know if anyone has had it, but I know I've had it. And it's that glimpse into the real. And it's a wonderful experience. And we can choose to live in that place of grace, to see things differently, to shift how we perceive, how we react, and how we interact with the world that we are currently in. The illusion that we believe is real. By grace, we can live in it with a different point of view. We can realize and become aware of who we truly are, and realize that we are still in the experience, we are still living the human experience, but realize that we are spiritual beings in that experience, and no longer tied by it and beholden to it. We are but just experiencing it for our brothers and sisters, helping us all become one, or not become one, but remember that we're one. And in doing so, you release yourself from the illusion. You become part of the oneness. And when you feel that becoming, that is what grace is. That grace is what would it be wonderful if we could all experience. Because like the Course says, it is the beginning to the real. It heralds the truth. It comes right before it. And that is what we're trying to attain here. Because once we attain truth, then everything else disappears. There's no need for anything else. You become one with God, and God becomes one with you, and then you're back home. You're back where you were meant to be. And the experience of grace is gone, because the experience you now have when you're there is just peace and love and joy and happiness, and everything that God is, you are. And that is a final step. We're not there yet. We're trying to get there. And grace heralds that. Grace allows us to see that. Grace reminds us of that. So, as the Course says, by grace I live, by grace I am released. So that is the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make the best of today and try to remember what the lesson is telling you. Try to attain that instant of grace. Hope you're spending time with those you love. I hope you are enjoying the wonderful day that God has given you. And I hope you make the best of today. Find someone and give them a smile. Lighten up your day with your smile. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.